They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt.
Was Katt Williams right about Tiffany Haddish? Is she really an industry plant picked by white owners? Well, it looks like this conversation surrounding Tiffany's success simply refuses to die. And after Tiffany recently announced that she will do a Girls Trip sequel, fans started saying that Katt was right about Tiffany being chosen by white media as the token black female comedian. What's also bizarre is that last year, Tiffany was involved in a very big scandal when she was accused of grooming and essaying 2 minors, and yet her career didn't really suffer a bit. And yet people like Katt Williams and Kanye West get canceled by simply speaking their minds. So does this mean that Katt was telling the truth about Tiffany being an industry plant? And how does Tiffany feel about these accusations? Let's break it down.
We are in the only business where, as a black woman, what you look like is not supposed to be held against you. And time again, they show you that you can be sidetracked by anything light-skinned.
Tiffany Haddish is one of those celebs you either love or hate. And while no one can deny that she works hard, a lot of people feel like she didn't get to where she is with comedic talent alone. And the only celeb who has the guts to say this publicly is Katt Williams. Katt and Tiffany's feud can be traced back to 2018, when Katt appeared on the Frank and Wanda in the Morning Show and questioned Tiffany's success. Katt was trying to explain how Netflix decides what comedians will get a special, and when asked how he feels about Tiffany's deal with Netflix, Katt said that getting a special doesn't mean that you know how to write jokes, because Netflix will pay based off of the amount of tickets you sold for your last tour. Katt then pointed out that Tiffany got the Netflix deal without ever going on tour, and though she's been doing comedy for over 2 decades, no one can name a single original joke that she wrote.
She's been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet.
Katt also said it's crazy how other talented black female comedians constantly get blackballed by these big media corporations, and yet the way they keep pushing Tiffany, you think she's the most talented of them all. And according to Katt, this is all because Tiffany was picked by the powers as a safe choice to cater to white audiences.
And they already ready to down Monique and up somebody who has showed them Girls Trip. Did you think she wrote Girls Trip goofball?
Right.
Or do you think that was already a script and they handed it to her? It's up to you, whatever you want to believe.
But the movie the Girls Trip movie?
Yes, ma'am. The one with with 3 of our greatest black actresses in it? You mean that one?
Right. But I'm just saying, Tiffany Haddish.
Ma'am, you could have had that role, and everything that happened would have happened unless you thought you were necessary to write the Saturday Night Live monologue.
Now, keep in mind that when Katt is talking about comedic talent, he's referring to the ability to write jokes and not just tell them. And he pointed out that it makes no sense that Tiffany was placed above so many other talented black female comedians who actually write their comedy.
She passed 46 female black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they like her.
Is that what they like?
They love realness.
Because everybody's real then, so don't trip.
And while Wanda Smith insisted that Tiffany made it big because she's real, Katt said that it has nothing to do with that. And the real reason Tiffany was picked as the face of black female comedy is because she talks about sleeping with white men.
Wherever you at under the sound of my voice, do you have a real co-worker?
Right.
Do you have a ratchet friend? Do you have a sister? Do you have a cousin? Do you have a nephew? Do you have a niece? Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt. The only thing before that in the movie with me is I slept with this white man and I got a white baby. She had a white husband for the 14 years she been doing comedy, and then all of a sudden divorced him, then said he abused her, then wrote a book, then said he didn't. And then now we're at Brad Pitt. So, hey, you can say whatever you want. She said she got a disease for JJ. Don't nobody check for that. I support Linnell, Melanie Camacho, Miss Laura. All the people that got skipped over in the list between now and then. It's no shade to nobody.
Yeah.
Katt then made another great point and explained exactly why darker-skinned female comedians constantly get overlooked.
We are in the only business where, as a black woman, what you look like is not supposed to be held against you. And time again, they show you that you can be sidetracked by anything light-skinned.
Now, as you can imagine, Katt's comments caused quite a commotion among Tiffany's fans, who accused him of being bitter and jealous. And then Kevin Hart also decided to jump to Tiffany's defense, and when he and Tiffany appeared together on The Breakfast Club, Kevin claimed that Katt is just angry because he blew many opportunities due to his rumored substance issues.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions?
However, Katt has been very vocal about his stance on drugs, and he always claimed he never used anything other than weed. And that's why he had to hop on IG Live to check Kevin and fire some warning shots.
As long as Richard Pryor was able to be the king of comedy and a crackhead, they gonna continue to say maybe I am. But again, I urge you, if there's a drug you can do that'll get you Katt Williams level, bitch, you should OD on it tonight. Your teeth white. Maybe make your long and hard. Maybe make your hair magnificent. Maybe there's some type of crack you can smoke that'll make you work so catch a nap. But probably not.
As for Tiffany, Katt later clarified in an interview with TMZ that he didn't have any personal beef with her, and he apologized for his comments. However, Katt never backtracked on his claims that some comedians are picked by industry masters because they fit a certain image. So when Tiffany recently announced that she's doing a sequel to Girls Trip, fans said that this just proves that Katt was speaking facts. Back in February, TMZ caught up with Tiffany and asked how she feels about the backlash for doing Girls Trip 2. And she said, "I can't be concerned what people think. I gotta be concerned about how I feel. When I look in the mirror, am I happy with what I see? Yes, ma'am. God made it, God did a good job, and God knows the truth." Now, if you're wondering why there's backlash over Tiffany's involvement in the Girls Trip sequel, well, that's because less than a year ago, Tiffany and fellow comedian Ariel Spears were sued for the alleged grooming and essay of 2 minors. The lawsuit was filed by a brother and sister who chose to remain anonymous, and they claimed that when they were children, Tiffany and Ariel recruited them to perform inappropriate acts in several comedy skits. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, when the sister was 14 and her brother was 7, Tiffany and Ariel forced them to film explicit skits, and the brother also claimed that he was essayed by both defendants. The lawsuit alleges that Tiffany gained the girl's trust and convinced her to film an inappropriate video, teaching her how to mimic a questionable act for the skit. But it gets even more disturbing from there. The woman also claimed that her younger brother was just 7 years old when Tiffany brought him to a home where she and Ariel essayed him while filming a Funny or Die video. However, Tiffany's attorney, Andrew Brettler, denied all allegations and claimed that the lawsuit was an extortion attempt, telling TMZ that the brother and sister will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. Now, as for Tiffany, she eventually responded to the allegations in an Instagram post, expressing her regret over agreeing to act in a problematic skit. Clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about this situation as soon as I can. However, she hasn't shared anything more about it since then, and though the lawsuit was eventually dismissed, a lot of fans are convinced that Tiffany is protected by the industry higher-ups. Many fans also pointed out that if another comedian, say for example someone like Katt Williams, was accused of the same heinous things, he would have been instantly canceled. One fan said, "I give people their props, but I don't understand what people see in Tiffany Haddish. I didn't know about her, she's not funny, and she has no appeal. She must be a plant." And another fan wrote, "But yet they keep putting this wretched woman in front of us. I thought she was done for after the inappropriate situation she put those children in. Recently, they have begun trotting her out again, and she promptly put her foot in her mouth again. Enough already, so tired of her clown act." But let's hear your thoughts on Tiffany's success. Do you think she's an industry plant? Comment down below, and don't forget to check out this next video.